best fold under the pressure. By far the biggest example of the art of pressure is in the 1994 World Cup final. This is the single biggest stage an athlete can be on, the most watched sporting event in the world. But since most of you watching are basketball fans, let me set the context. It's Brazil versus Italy. Brazil was the powerhouse nation that it's always been, but Italy had been carried all the way to the final by a single player. Roberto Baggio had just won the Ballon d'Or and was by far the best player in the world. This was a special matchup. The game went to a penalty shootout, the first time in World Cup history, and it was 3-2 in Brazil's favor. And the last one to take the penalty was Baggio. If he missed, Brazil would win the World Cup. The weight of an entire country on his shoulders, the whole world watching. And this is what happens.
He's missed it, and Brazil win the World Cup. Baggio stays rooted to the spot, has hardly moved.
The most heartbreaking moment that any athlete could ever go through. It didn't even seem real. He had one of the greatest performances in World Cup history, just for it to end like that. There was probably no other athlete in history that faced as much pressure as Baggio did on that day. It was such a haunting moment that he became known as the man who died standing. But as much as there are players that choose flight, there are also many that choose the other option. And it's these people that thrive under pressure. Michael Jordan dropping 38 in the finals while having the flu, pushing his body to its absolute limits. Allen Iverson scoring 48 points in his first finals game against one of the best teams in history. And LeBron James, on the brink of elimination, entire legacy on the line, turning into a machine and having his best game ever. What's interesting about the fight or flight response is that any individual is capable of choosing fight. After the 2011 meltdown, LeBron completely reversed his psychological engineering and learned how to succeed under pressure time and time again. Even though Chris Webber still gets reminded of his time out, he went on to have a Hall of Fame career. Steph Curry used to get ridiculed for being terrible in the clutch, missing big-time shots in the playoffs when the pressure was on him. But he eventually beat these allegations, hitting game winner after game winner and winning Clutch Player of the Year. And all this goes to show that pressure is necessary. Without any high stakes, sports would be boring to watch. The possibility of collapse and triumph is what excites the fans, knowing that at any day, the best players can turn into trash, while the trash players can play like the best.